All right, I'm here. Are you here? Let me know when you get on, where you're watching from, if you're a first time watcher, if you're a newbie stamper, if you're a seasoned stamper, tell us something fun about yourself, whatever. Hey Vesta, I'm Jill Blanchette. I believe everything should be going right. Yeah, I got my microphones on, so we are good to go. You guys, I forgot to put this away, but I told you all about this awesome kit that I got off the clearance rack, the scrapbooking workshop, and then it was gone. So I apologize. I left it back here behind me and I forgot it was there. So I apologize for getting y'all excited, but I suppose I could sell mine if anybody wants it. But um, I told you guys all about it. I got all excited about it. Telling you to go get it if you needed an intro for scrapbooking, and somebody asked me about it. Oh, Julie asked me about it, and I went and looked and it was gone. So must be other people thought it was a great deal besides me. Christy's on. Oh, it's raining. Yeah, Christy, it's raining here too. It's been, well, not really bad. It's just been kind of raining on and off. We got the our deck power washed and our driveway power washed today, and he did it in the rain. So it wasn't raining too hard, but probably helped him somewhat. But he said if he'd have stopped, you definitely could have seen the difference. But I don't know what that, maybe some people would care. I wouldn't care as long as he came back and finished, you know, it wouldn't bother me. I didn't want the poor kid out there in the rain, but um he chose to do it in the rain, so I'm excited to see it dry, to see how it looks, because we've never done the driveway, power wash the driveway before. So um I just figured while he was coming to do the deck, I'd have him do the driveway. But that's it. Other than that, I went to Grand Rapids today, brought a carload of stuff down for Reed that she's not taking, but I guess some of it was donate. Um, and then some of it's keeper stuff. And I don't know where I'm going to put it. I got no more room at my house to put more stuff. So not sure. Oh, wait a minute. My mom's got an empty basement. I'll take it up there. No, just kidding, Mom. I wouldn't do that to you. Um, but yeah, let me see. Christy's on. Vesta. It's just Christy. Oh, and Dawn's on. Hey, Dawn. So I am Jill Blanchette here in rainy Vicksburg, Michigan. And tonight we're going to make a masculine card with a fun fold that I saw that looked kind of interesting. Susan Campfield, she does all kinds of crazy fun folds. And so I saw it, I liked it. I thought that in my head, the idea that I had, she had used the sips and cheers and sips on one of hers with the paper. And I don't want to sound bad, but I'm getting a little overwhelmed with that paper and two of the flowered pattern papers that we had, that they're absolutely gorgeous and I absolutely love them, but there's just too much bright. There's just too much going on for me. So I dumbed it back and I'm using the Earth and Textures. You guys remember this? It's retired now, but you remember this paper? And the Earth and Textures stamp set and die had some tall, like vessels, like a big, tall pot, I guess. And then this big fern that fanned out was a die, and there was a whole bunch of dies. Well, I found this paper, and I know I have another one of them somewhere. I just don't know where, because I was going to show you all the papers inside, but why bother, right? Because you can't buy it anymore. So if you do want to look for some out there on the buy sell trades, the stamp set's called Earth and Textures, and I believe that we were calling the paper the same thing at that time. So I decided to turn it masculine and see what I could do to crank out a couple masculine cards. That's it, you guys. We are running out of time for the join special. And I just, again, I can't drill it into your head enough. If you buy paper crafting supplies, don't think twice. You should sign up for $165 worth of products for $99. And I'm just gonna say no strings attached. I mean, get it and go. It's like a giant Joann's sale, or it's probably even better than the Joann's clearance rack sale from their closeout, because I heard that that wasn't very good. They like shipped off all the good stuff before their sale even started, and didn't have very good discounts. But if you had a big sale at your favorite clothing store, you would go there and buy a sweater that you didn't need, but you wanted it because it was on sale. And that's what this is. $99, $165 worth of products, any products you want. You get a paper pumpkin kit in there. You get 8 catalogs that you can always give to your local demonstrators if you don't want to do anything like businessy with them, or don't have any friends you want to give them to. And go buy it from there. You don't even have to sign on if you don't want to and do anything. Don't even log in after you get your kit. But I'm just saying that it's awesome. But why wouldn't you want to sign on? Because starting on the 3rd, we have 50% off on suites and the products in the suites. So how I understand that is, if you want a spool of ribbon that's in the suite, you can buy just the spool of ribbon, and then you want 2 spools, or you want the like dot embellishments, you can buy just those 2 things and you get one at 50% off. You don't have to buy the whole suite, from what I understand. I didn't read it fully again after another announcement on it, but it said suites and products, and it said you don't have to buy it, that you can buy just the stamp set from your other favorite suite. So you get those. We got online exclusives coming out in June that we can pre-order for July, and one of them coordinates with the paper pumpkin kit. So I'm just saying, you can get yourself a discount at least in June. And if you don't want to go any further from there, you don't have to. But then we're going to get pre-order for the holiday catalog. Then we're going to get another catalog after that. So it's just constant savings coming your way. So I'm going to quit rambling about that awesome thing and just drill. I'm done drilling. Next week it'll be all over, so you don't have to hear from me again. I'm going to get ready. Oh, see, Dawn even agrees. It's a good deal. It is a good deal. It's just one of those things that you just, it's hard to say, don't miss out. Don't miss out. You don't want to miss out on all the stuff, paper, just replenish your supplies, or just stock up on the stamp sets that you like. But anyway, here's the card that I came up with. And it opens up. And she called this a pop-up parade, or parade pop-up or something, because it was a parade of pop-ups going on here. So it lays flat like this to stick in your envelope. And here's an ode to my Barcelona creative director. Well, she's not there yet, so she's still at Grand Rapids office, but pretty soon she'll be our international branch. But she said to toss in the lime green to go with the lime, so I did. But yeah, they stand up like that. Super easy to do once I show you here. And then it opens up like that, stands up. And there we go. Yeah, I know, Mom. I told you the downstairs. I'm going to start bringing all the stuff. Oh, I forgot to show you guys who's all our winners. So last week's card winners, I got Patty Tyre. I got Tony Shaw, I think is on yep, she's got my Christmas card from the other night. And then we got Jean Hoffman has the other one from last week. So I will get those in the mail hopefully tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday. Yes, hopefully tomorrow I'll get those in the mail. So those are our winners from the Christmas card. And then I had two from last week, one of each card that I made last week. And then this week, we're going to make this guy. And I'm going to show you how I did some of the fun stuff. So we're starting with, I don't know what I did on my envelope. I don't think I did anything on the envelope, but we'll stamp a cup or something on the envelope. I don't know what I did. Maybe I don't know. I'll have to look. I didn't do anything on my envelope. All right, so we've got a standard base here that is, hi Linda, 8.5 by 5.5. So it opens up like a normal card base. We're gonna set that aside. Gotta go slow. So remember, I did not bring my notebook over. Let me get that. I got all my measurements in there. It might be easier for me to try and look at that, but I sketched out my June class, so I should be getting those cards made and photographed and loaded out there so you could see. I announced the class and then I didn't tell you guys, show you what I was making. So we got our standard base. Then we need to make our pop-up bands here. And I've just got a piece of basic beige. And what we need to do, I've measured, so this is 3 inches, and these are both 3/4 of an inch. So I knew that I needed a, let me go slow here, 4.5-inch piece of paper. And then they are 5 3/4 inches wide. So let's do our cutting here. I don't know where yes. So my paper's 5 3/4 inches wide. And then we need it at 4.5. Is that going to be right? Oh, I already cut it. Okay. Let me get my bearings. So we're going to go this way on the 5 3/4 inch side, and we're going to score it at 3/4. Okay, make sure I go slow. We're going to score 3/4, 1.5 inches. I'm working in inches here. 4.25. And 5. So that leaves each of our bands now. Okay, I forget what I just erased what I just said. So now we're going to turn it, and we want to cut at 3/4 of an inch. So we need 2 bands, this top band and this bottom band. We need 2 of them at 3/4 of an inch. And then that should leave us with 3 inches left here. Yep. So it's easiest to score it all at the same time. And then that way you know that like everything should be scored in the same spot. Then we're going to fold up our creases, our scores. And so we're going to go in and out. So we got a mountain and a valley. So it depends how you're looking at it. You want a valley and then a mountain on the top. So let's crease those down. And then we're going to do the same thing here. Got a mountain and a valley. Oops. Crease them down. And then it'll look like that. And then it stands up for us. We're gonna do that on all of them. And I might have that a little bit off. We'll see. We might have to adjust when we glue them on. Oh, glue. Speaking of glue, did I throw my glue in my bucket? Or no, I'm going to say there's a hole in my bucket. Dear Liza, there's a hole in my bucket. Oh dear, I think is what it is. She loses all the water. I don't know why I know that song. Obviously, it's from Reed. It's probably a Girl Scout song. I think I might have scored this one in the wrong spot. I got a little bit too much hanging off there, but we're going to mountain and valley them all. And like I said, we can adjust that little bit when we get going. And we're going to, I'm going to get my glue because that green glue, I'm be wearing that. I don't know where it is. Oh, it's in last week's bucket. That's kind of sad. That's really sad if I haven't used my glue bottle since last week. I guess I've been using this other one here, this one that I think is out of glue and it just keeps on. It's like the Energizer Bunny. Ah! Freaking bug in here. What is it? Stink bug? Where'd he go? He was big. Do you guys see him fly through the camera? All right. So let's get our glue out and we are going to glue these down and we're going to start just like on the one side. And we're going to glue up in the top corner. And we want to glue it right up into the corner. Like so. Then we're going to do the same on the bottom. Put some glue in our corner. Our little piece there. And we're going to glue it straight to the bottom. Make sure it's all tucked in there nice, right on the corner. And then this one, we can put glue on one side. And then we're just going to eyeball, unless you need to measure. I'm going to eyeball right up to the edge. And we got the same distance between the two. Pretty close. We're calling it in the right spot. Okay. You with me? So we're building up our tower of folds. Then we're going to flip them back. And we have a piece for the center here that is 2.5. I might have made mine bigger. I think I did. I went 2 5/8 because she cut down on the quarter and I like to leave a little bit less than that. So this is 2 5/8 by 5 3/8. And so I'm going to glue that, put some glue on it here. Betty's on. Hey, Betty. Hey, Patty. Hey, Debbie. And then we're going to, again, eyeball. We don't want to go too close to our creases here. Looking for kind of the right same amount at the top of the bottom. You're not going to see it. going to be covered up. You're going to really have to look in there hard to see it, but I'm going to glue that on there. And then now we can glue our other side down over here. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to aim for the upper corner. Or you can decorate them first. Why don't we decorate them first? It might be easier to... No, we're not. I'm going to glue them down. I see that it's being very confusing for my brain. Okay. So I'm going to glue this down and push that side back and then lay this flat. And it should come right up to the corner where we need it to go. Ow, I think I'm being bit by that bug now. I don't know what it was. Okay. So we'll do the same on the middle. We're going to put some glue on the big piece here. Fold it flat there. And then lay it down. Put our glue on our little corner. Fold the crease back. And then lay it flat. And put it right up to the corner. Like so. Now we have all of our little stand-up pieces going. Now, let's see where we want to go from here. That's an extra piece. So let's go from here with our 2 side pieces. Now, I think this is my inside piece. I'm going to glue that on. This is 3/4 of an inch, and it's a little bit long. And then we can cut it off. Top. Got that piece off our desktop. And then we have 2 more pieces because we know that these are 3/4 of an inch. I cut these to 5/8 by 5 3/8 should be. And we're going to glue these 2 long pieces. You need 2 of these. You're going to glue those down the sides. 1 on each side of the card. Like this. And then depends, you do not have to put all these paper strips on if you don't want to. I'll try and move that over just a smidge. Or not. You don't have to put all these extra little side pieces and whatever on. Especially if you're using a brighter paper or jazzing up the card a little bit different than what I am. They're just here. I suggest use these 2. These are kind of covering up where all these little pieces. Hey Tony, thanks for watching. You're going to cover up where all these little pieces are connected down, so that kind of just makes it a little seamless. So then these little doohickeys you may not want to add. These are all, because again, these are 3/4. These are all little 5/8 inch squares. And we're going to glue them on. And put them all on each. I got 4 of them. We'll need 4 for these little pieces. And this is where I said you might be able to decorate beforehand, before we glued the other side down. But it flops back and forth, pretty easy. So however you want to do it, if you want to glue them on before, after. Let's see. Let's put in a code word before I forget of, how about parade? She called it a parade something or another. Parade. A strip. I forgot what I said she called it. Something about a parade. a parade of strips. Just use the word parade. I'll know what you mean. So I've got two more. Again, they're 5/8 inches tall, and they are 3/4. Let me remember how wide they were. Let me look at my note. Long sides, small sides, cross strips, 5/8 by 2 5/8. Now you can put the pretty decorative side up. I use the kind of sandy, bluish, and grayish speckled side because I didn't want to take away from my Moscow Mule. I imagined I wanted to make my own drink for this set. And so I'll show you how I made my Moscow Mule cup. We're going to put these two strips on here. Whoops. Getting a little crazy. All right. Then this big middle piece, again, I thought about doing that side, but the mule got too sucked into it. So I'm putting this little speckled side up again. And it is 2 5/8 this way by 2 7/8 this way. Oh, look, you guys, I'm out of the camera. So I'm going to glue that on. Put that on. Oh, then I have two strips. This is where Reedy said, oh, I think you need some lime green in there to go with the limes you're using. So we'll try it. Gives it a pop of color, she said. Gotta have a pop of color. Okay. Everything is lime green for that girl. And so this is lemon lime twist. And these side pieces are 5/8 by 2 7/8. Okay. So now we have the whole thing built. You see how easy that is? When you look at it, if you see it online, it's like, oh my gosh, that looks so hard. Easy peasy, right? So now I did not bring everything over. Okay, so I didn't show you guys. Nobody's saying, hey, show me the. So here is the stamp set. Sips and cheers. Cheers and sips, sorry. Here's the die set. And this little thing here reminds me of those like if you see the old cups that were I'm thinking they were like bamboo or something looking. It's going to make those little cuts in the side, the embossed, to give it a look of being a decorated cup. And when if you see them, it looks like I'm just picturing it something you'd get in Hawaii with the umbrella and the fruit sticking out and this fancy little coconut cup or something. But that's the stamp set that I used. So I'm going to show you how I did my cup. So I got this stamp for the cup out of it. And oh boy, so this might not work because I don't have a StazOn over here. I use StazOn. All right, is it gonna work? This memento's not gonna dry on there. All right, so let's just pretend I don't want to run over there and get, so I just StazOned it, right? And then I cut it out with the die for the cup. And this is where I wanted to try. Maybe that's why I didn't bring my StazOn. I want to try and see what it looks like if I just cut it without stamping it. Do you think it's going to define it well enough if I cut it without stamping it? Because I didn't really like the look, because if you ever use your stays on something that's smooth, it gets very slippery. And then it kind of jiggles around. And I was afraid that it was, it's too jiggly. It slides. So I'm going to cut one out and see what it looks like without the cup design on it. Let's see. And I should have brought my big machine over, because in order to use the I think it looks all right. It leaves a nice mark around the edge. I think it looks okay, actually. I'm going to, I'll show you next. I got to get my big machine. What the next step. I should have just brought the stupid stays on too, but I wanted to try it. So I've got the hammered metal embossing folder. Let me hold that for a second. And that's what I ran my cup through with, and I did calling it the debossed side. So I'm putting the cup down in there. And I debossed it so that all the like the little hammered stuff, can you see it? It goes inward. So let me move this out of my way. And I think it looks all right without that black outline on it. So then, oops, I needed that. Needed that back. So I'll get my little guy to show you. All the Moscow mules that I was looking up have a handle on them. I think that's just maybe kind of how they're I'll say portrayed, but that's just kind of how they are. Typically they're in this hammered copper looking cup with a handle on it. So what I did was I got an extra piece of my like copper paper there. Let me get this stuff situated. I'm getting ahead of myself. And I just found any random die that I had over there, and I apologize, I don't know the name of which ones this is from. It's a nested set, and I think that it had another, I'm trying to look over on my board and see. I think a couple of them came in here, but I grabbed the smallest of this design. I think there's 3 or 4 of this die. So grab yourself the die that you want to use, or a punch will work. And I'm just going to punch it out or wheel it out. Okay. And then now we've got this. Depends how far you wheel it out. Then I'm going to take my die and I'm going to put it back down over where I just cut it out and try and kind of center it back to be, I don't want to call it a shadow, but the same, oh, look, and I'm off the thing, in the same general vicinity as the first one, but leave a little bit of space there so that it'll make your hand up. So I'm going to call that good. And we'll trim that out. Snap, crackle, pop. And then see, we've got ourselves a handle. You see how it's got that curve in it? So I made a little handle for my cup. And let me get this guy out of the way. I'm going to use I'll use this one that I've already stamped on. And then I'm just going to glue this handle on there. And so now we have like a cup. It was very hard to glue it on there though, because I only want a little fraction of it and the glue didn't want to really stick on that paper. So I used some hair tape. You know how hard it is to tear that little weeny teeny bit of tape off there. My big old man hands don't like to work that small. Plus I gotta cut my stupid fingernails again. They're kind of pretty. I like them when they get longer, but they get in my crafting. They hinder my crafting. So, okay. So now we have our mug. And you might want to actually put that on the front. I don't know. Now that I look at it, does it really need to go on the front? It needs to stick right up to the edge. Let's see if we could do that. Can we stick it right up to the edge? Like that. So it looks more attached to the cup than hanging out behind the cup. Let's fix the sticky so it's not showing so much. Peel our back off. And then we can peel that sticky in so it's not showing. Okay, I think that looks all right, I guess. We're gonna leave it. We're gonna leave it. And now that I peeled that sticky off, it's gonna stick to the table. So let's put it back on for a hot second. From here, we have a scrap piece of white. And I'm going to use the lemon or lime, whichever you think it is. I'm going to use Granny Apple Green. Stamp that down. And then I've got I'm going to call it mint. And I did that in Old Olive. I'm going to put it over here just so and I've got I got some blends here. So I'm going to go ahead with my dark lemon lime twist. And I'm just going to color around my lime. And kind of down in between the spokes a little bit there. And we'll call that guy good. Then over here for my mint, I got my light shy shamrock. And in my head, I'm just seeing mint having a little off color of some sort that's not all green. So I'm giving it this little bit of shy shamrock to compensate for what I have in my head of what it might look like. And then I got light old olive to come in and try and blend those a little bit. But like I said, I want it to have a little bit of an oddball color like that just to help. Because I don't think in my head that mint is all dark green, but could be. Okay, we need our little machine again. We could cut that with our scissors. We're not going to cut that with our scissors just because I don't know. So we've got dies for that. We've got, a random circle die. I was going to punch it and said, nope, I'm going to try the die and see how much like border it leaves. And it didn't leave too much of a border, so I like it. And then this one, I'm going to take that little dot there and I'm going to try and put my stem, end of my stem in that little dot. And now I don't see it. So we're not going to try that. Oh, there it is. Peekaboo. There it is. Found it. It's like threading a needle, for Lordy's sake. Okay, so we're going to keep those like that. And if you notice, I think the lime has a little weird shape to it. And I think I got it on there right, but we're going with it. Okay, so put that down. No tape. See what we get. Hope we don't move it. Okay. Get out of our way. Oh, yep. See, I didn't have it on my line right. It is got a weird little bit of shape to it. So I obviously had that maybe on there wrong, but even get a little die in here for the olive, like this little thing. It's one of those, do you really need the lime and the olive dyes? But hey, they're there. Use them. All right. So now we're going to cut this in half. And I got to trim this off because I don't want all that white on there. See, I could have just trimmed it to begin with, right? It's one of those. And I'm just going to randomly find half, what appears to be half. Hi, Kathy. Kathy V is on. She catches us on YouTube usually. All right. So then we're going to slice a little slice in there so that it can hang on our cup. And I don't know if it hangs off and in or in and off. It honestly ended up however my tape stuck it. And then I stuck this kind of like that so that it looked like it was in the cup, but it's not necessarily all in the cup. Because then I got to turn it over. And we're going to put a dimensional on it and try and hold it. I got little baby ones, so it might not hold it. Yeah, that's not what we wanted. All right, we'll leave it like that. Try it again. Let's get another, how about we find another piece of that tape? Stick that there. We'll get another piece. Stick that there. Now we're cooking. Okay, so take those pieces off of there. And they'll probably stick down because, you know, that's how it's going to happen. That's all right. When you make yours, you will figure out, oh, you know what we'll do? We'll put this dimensionals on there. Gosh, I can be so smart sometimes. And then that will take away the sticky from the two-sided tape that I used and keep it from flattening and sticking to the card. Brilliant idea, Jill. Okay, let me see. Probably should put one more. That works. That'll be good. Okay. And then we're just going to bring this guy over. Our dimensional showing there. And stick that on here. Oh, I don't like the way my lemon is, but it is what it is. It's on there. We're going to stick that on there like so. Then I have a Copic to give a shadow to our cup. So it's sitting, it's grounded. Can't really see it in my lighting, I'm sure, but it's there. It's grounded now. All right. This is just the hard part, you know, with all the fussing around. So now I've got my basic beige again, just a scrap piece, and I'm going to put some cheers on there. And because this is old paper, I got to pull out an old stamp set or stamp pad. So I got copper clay. I'm just going to put some cheers down. I need that again. We'll cut that off. Did bring my punch. That was kind of even. Although we're not very even up at the top, but we're going to go with it. Could be a little, oh, it needs to be a lot smaller. So good. That'll give us a chance to just trim the top off because we don't want this too obnoxious. We just want it to highlight our cup. I'm going to cut some more off. And then I'm going to bring this back in. Oops, wrong side. And cut some more off. I've got it too short now. Ah. And when you cut them too short, what can you do? You can get a Post-it note. Let me show you. I got those kind that go up and down, like the accordion fold. So go ahead and just stick your paper on the Post-it, and then you can stick it in, and you got all the. I don't think I want to go that far in though. Let me put a little dot. How far I want to go in, just so I. That looks pretty straight, I guess. And then now we can stick that on there. I have some of that, one of my favorite ribbons all time, this Pretty Peacock or it's Old Olive and Pretty Peacock. And it's just really pretty. Like this side has got more Old Olive and this side's got more Pretty Peacock. I'm going to fold it in half and I'm going to give it a snip. And we're going to glue that one. I'm going to stick it like that, like under. I'm going to get another piece of my tape. If you use seal, this is a good way to use that. You could put a little bit on the paper, stick the ribbon to it. I don't have seal. Well, I do have it actually. All right, so now for the final, we're going to get another, in this stamp set are these It's Your Day, Let's Celebrate. So cheers to you, to us. So I'm going to use It's Your Day. And Holy Man is that tiny. I'm going to stick it on there. And I used Pretty Peacock. Originally, I had used a green. And it just really didn't stand out as much. My green lover even said, it needs to be darker. So I'm putting that right at the edge. Probably a little close. I should do it again. Not quite so close, right? We do want a little bit of border there. Yeah, Copper Clay Dawn was a real pretty color. I was sad to see that one go too, and Pebbled Path, but I did use it a lot. It's a nice dark color. Oof, that was awful. Look at here when I'm not even paying attention. Try to be like a professional and talk and do two things at one time. I'm not quite there yet. All right, so then I'm going to trim that. Trim that down. Looks like I might have trimmed it a little crooked, but it's good. We're going to flag the end because it's a little bit too tiny for the bunch. And then we want to glue that one kind of on like that. And this one we can use some glue on. It is, I'm going to put it on here. And I probably should, oh, I'm off the camera again. I probably should have stuck it on here just to get a feel for where it's going. Like this one, I'll want to tuck that one under a little bit more. Probably it's too long on this end. Trim it off. Stick our cheers in there. It's your day. Right there. I'm going to push on that so it sticks to my glue. Then I'll just put a dimensional on that. So that it sticks underneath our cup. Is it going to go? It's not going to slide under the cup. Should not deviate from the sample on live camera. We'll stick it on the back. And then we'll try and stick it under the cup. There we go. Okay, now, when you put this, or I'm not quite done, but when you put this in your envelope, because I got this stuff hanging off the side, you'll want to make sure that you flatten it this way to slide it in the envelope, and then nothing will get smushed. Because if you go this way, it's going to hang off. So we've got Cheers, It's Your Day. Then I had these on my first one. I really couldn't find any coppery looking things in my stash, so I used my cork rounds because I thought that, that kind of, I don't know, I thought it looked kind of cool. So I used the cork rounds. But then I happened to find this non-Stampin' Up grouping of stuff and thought that it looked kind of good. I kind of like these different colored. I don't even know. They must be that Michael's. But I'm not sure. Maybe they are Stampin' Up and we had them at one time in all these colors because it's kind of small to be a thing from Michael's, but I don't know where I got it. So I guess I'm gonna just put 5 on there like so. These are way tiny, so you could fill it all up if you wanted. And then on the inside, I was trying to figure out how to use my spring corners in here, and I just couldn't. I just got this. I broke down and said I gotta have it. We used it on a couple cards when we were in Hobart, but I couldn't figure out that looked okay to put that like that, I guess. But then I didn't know where I was gonna fit my happy birthday in there. It looked kind of weird to be down here because then it didn't really give you a place to write. It looked even weirder to be up here. So I just left this part out and just let the coolness of the outside of the card do all the work. So I used my copper clay again and I just pulled out the happy birthday from the set. But you could also say, Happy Father's Day, which is coming up in no time. If you wanted to do something like that, let me close this up. And so there. Do you like the cork better or the little gems I put on there? Sparkly things. These are the cork rounds. If you ever got them, or you didn't, that's what they looked like. I don't know where the gems went now. Oh, over here. I could have maybe even went with the darker color. That might look more coppery than the one that I used. But I didn't. So there we go, you guys. Let me come back over. Don't forget, before you go, did I do the inside? The keyword was parade. Because this is called a parade strip card. Strip parade. Oh, no. We don't want to call it that now, do we? I don't know. It was a parade card. So that's why we use the word parade. But we're back to moi, and I am here to say goodnight. Thank you for watching, commenting, and all the things, sharing and hanging out with me. I appreciate it. I will be back again next Wednesday, if not before, who knows. If you have any questions, ever, comments, whatever, message me. If you don't want to post them on the video, you can always message me or email me. I'll be back again. You guys have a great rest of your night. Thanks for watching.